The woman who outsmarted the FBI and vanished forever in the world of law enforcement, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, is often seen as one of the most powerful and resourceful agencies. Armed with cutting-edge technology, a global network of intelligence, and some of the most skilled investigators on the planet, the FBI rarely lets a fugitive slip through its fingers, let alone vanish without a trace. But in one baffling case that continues to haunt investigators and captivate the public, a woman did exactly that. She not only evaded capture, but she also disappeared so completely that to this day, no one knows where she went, how she got away, or even who helped her, if anyone did at all. This is the astonishing true story of a woman whose intelligence, cunning, and planning enabled her to execute one of the most successful vanishing acts in modern history. What makes this case even more shocking is that it wasn't just luck on her side, it was strategy. Every step she took seemed calculated, as if she anticipated the FBI's every move before they made it. Despite months, even years of investigation, the agency failed to catch her, making her one of the rare fugitives to have permanently escaped the long arm of American law enforcement. Her story didn't begin with glamour or infamy. She was a seemingly ordinary woman, smart, educated, quiet, the kind of person you might pass on the street without a second glance. But beneath that calm exterior lay a sharp mind and a powerful motive. Whether driven by ideology, personal gain, or something more mysterious, she managed to orchestrate a plan that fooled not just local police, but federal agents as well. Her disappearance wasn't an impulsive escape. It was the final act of a meticulously crafted scheme. The FBI launched a full-scale manhunt. Airports, border crossings, surveillance footage, bank records, everything was scoured for a trace. Yet nothing emerged. No financial activity, no phone calls, no confirmed sightings. It was as though she had erased herself from the grid entirely. Investigators were left grasping at straws, their leads turning cold, their resources stretched thin. Despite public appeals, media attention, and even profiles on shows like America's Most Wanted, she remained a ghost. This case raised uncomfortable questions for the FBI. How could one person, a civilian, outsmart an entire federal agency? How could she anticipate surveillance and counterintelligence measures used by some of the most seasoned professionals in the world? Was she acting alone, or did she have help from within? Could someone have leaked information to her? Or was she simply that good over time? Her story became part myth, part legend. Online forums filled with theories. Some believed she had fled overseas and undergone surgery to change her appearance. Others suggested she was hiding in plain sight, using a new identity, perhaps even living a quiet life just miles from the very agents searching for her. The truth? No one knows. Her ability to disappear so thoroughly and permanently remains a rare feat, one that has earned her both admiration and infamy. To some, she is a criminal who escaped justice. To others, she is a genius who defied an unstoppable machine. But regardless of how you view her, one thing is undeniable: she made history. Not by stealing millions or committing a headline-grabbing crime, but by doing what few have ever done. She outsmarted the FBI and vanished forever. Hiding in plain sight. Before she became the woman who vanished without a trace, she was someone no one would have suspected. In fact, that's what made her so effective. She didn't look like a criminal. She didn't act like a fugitive in the making. To her friends, co-workers, and even her neighbors, she was simply Sarah, or whatever name she was going by at the time. Polite, punctual, and unremarkably ordinary. Yet behind this mask of normalcy, she was quietly building a parallel life, one that would soon shock the nation. Sarah was, by all accounts, intelligent and disciplined. She had earned a university degree, held steady jobs, paid her bills on time, and kept a low profile. She didn't party much, didn't post selfies on social media, and stayed away from gossip. She lived in a modest apartment, dressed simply, and drove a second-hand car. There was nothing flashy about her life, and that was exactly the point. She understood the value of invisibility long before she ever disappeared, but beneath that calm surface was a mind always at work, analyzing systems, finding loopholes, and planning ahead. While others went about their daily routines, Sarah was collecting identities, studying law enforcement tactics, and saving cash in untraceable ways. Some who later reviewed the case believed she may have started preparing for her escape years in advance, well before she ever became a person of interest to the FBI. Her double life involved layers of deception. She worked jobs under different names, often using forged documents that were so expertly crafted that even background checks didn't raise red flags. She used burner phones, encrypted messaging apps, and secure browsers long before most people had even heard of them. She was always careful to avoid creating a digital footprint. No selfies, no geotagged photos, no online shopping. She knew that in the 21st century, escaping meant more than just going off the grid. It meant never stepping on it in the first place. What's most fascinating is how easily she blended in. Colleagues described her as friendly but private. She never talked much about her past or her family. When asked personal questions, she'd skillfully redirect the conversation. But no one thought it was strange. She wasn't rude, just reserved. And in today's fast-moving, surface-level world, that was enough to avoid suspicion. Some theorists suggest she may have even formed relationships with people who could unknowingly aid her. Hackers, identity forgers, or people who lived on the fringe of society. If so, she hid those connections well. There were no sudden changes in behavior, no signs of fear or panic, just the steady rhythm of a woman who appeared to be living a simple, quiet life, even as she was constructing the foundation of a great escape. What made her double life so effective was that it didn't rely on speed or desperation. It was calculated, patient, and meticulous. She didn't wait for the law to come knocking before she ran. She knew what was coming, and she prepared. It's likely she had multiple exit strategies, safe houses, fake identities, and contingency plans. If one option failed, she'd already have two more in place. It's easy to think of double lives as dramatic, secret rooms, aliases, and coded messages, but her greatest disguise was normalcy. While the FBI hunted for someone they imagined as cunning and suspicious, they missed the woman next door, the one they thought they had all figured out. Her story reminds us of one uncomfortable truth. The most dangerous people are not always hiding in the shadows. Sometimes they're standing right in front of us, smiling politely and blending in, while quietly planning their vanishing act. Outsmarting the FBI and disappearing without a trace. Her disappearance wasn't the product of panic, desperation, or luck. It was precision. The final moments before she vanished proved that she had spent years studying not just how to disappear, but how to make the world forget she was ever there. With the FBI closing in, surveillance in place, and a federal warrant ready to be executed, she slipped through their fingers with quiet ease and into legend. The FBI believed they had control. They were monitoring her apartment, tapping nearby phones, watching her known associates. What they didn't know was that she had anticipated every step. She had mapped their routines, studied their delay patterns, and understood how law enforcement prioritizes and communicates. She knew exactly when to move. It happened on a weekday morning. According to one report, she left her apartment dressed for work, unassuming, clean, ordinary. Carrying a small backpack, she took a side exit, walked a few blocks, and caught a taxi. By the time agents realized she wasn't inside, she was already gone. No chase, no confrontation. Just a well-timed, perfectly executed exit. Inside her apartment, investigators found what looked like a carefully abandoned life. There were minimal personal belongings, no computers, and only one clue, a nearly empty closet. What they didn't find were the fake IDs, cash stashes, and travel documents she had likely hidden elsewhere. Her online presence had gone silent weeks before. Her bank accounts were empty. She had made sure that when she disappeared, she left no digital shadow. What followed was a national, even international, manhunt. The FBI scoured airports, monitored border crossings, and distributed her photo across federal databases. Facial recognition tools were employed, international agencies were notified, and reward offers were made. Yet no credible sighting ever surfaced. She had effectively become a ghost. Speculation spread quickly. Some believed she had fled to a country with no extradition treaty, perhaps living comfortably under a new identity. Others suggested she had used disguises and surgery to alter her appearance. A popular theory claimed she never left the country at all and was hiding in plain sight, blending into some small town with a new backstory. A more chilling possibility? She had help. Some investigators believe she was not acting alone, that someone on the inside may have tipped her off or helped her cover her tracks. But no evidence has ever confirmed that theory either. Years later, her case remains open, but cold. Occasionally a tip comes in, a woman resembling her spotted in a crowd, a strange detail in a travel document, but not,